With a 2-week window provided by the Supreme Court for Parliament to resolve the division of revenue stalemate elapsing, members of a newly formed mediation committee met to agree on the figure to be devolved to counties, while members of the National Assembly maintained a hard stance on the 316 billion shillings allocation, arguing that the economy could not sustain the 335 billion shillings. Senators maintain the county's share should be increased in the same ratio as that of the national government. Attempts by senators to push for an analysis of the total budget was opposed by members of the National Assembly, who insisted that Senate had no mandate of auditing the national government.
That this block figure include money of services which is dissolved, which are devolved. Like when you look at, for me, I would say the issue is how do we fill the 19.6 billion deficit? And my argument would be very simple. Whatever is devolved, let it be devolved.
If you can convince us there are those sources of extra money, which is what we want to hear, that we know that we have 19.5 billion, which will come from, so much will come from extra VAT, so wananchi can pay 18% instead of 2%, that we are going to shut down certain departments to release that money. If you can convince us there, if you even tell us you are going to raise 70 billion, we will be happy to give it to the counties.
Further attempts by senators to propose a reduction of monies allocated to the Ministry of Health in a bid to finance the 25 billion shillings difference was also defeated.
That if you do a proportion of 2.5 billion shilling increase to counties, is that the same proportion you have done for national government? The answer is no.
Now we have about 700 million deficit, billion deficit. Colleagues, let us not argue about. We have 3 arms of government. Let us see us where we sit from. The other arms of government have agreed. They said, fine, we can borrow 6.5 billion. We are comfortable with that. You have refused.
Disagreements between members of the two houses gradually turned the meeting to a heckling match, forcing vice-chairperson Senator Mohammed Mohammud to adjourn the meeting until next week.
When you talk about the appropriation bill, if that's what you want to talk about, it's an illegality. You cannot appropriate what you do not have. DORA comes before the appropriation bill. That is the norm. You cannot go and say, I'm going to divide X amount of money, which you do not have.
The development coming as National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi termed the mediation process between the two houses as a stumbling block.
Because if you look at Article 222, allows the national government to even proceed ask National Assembly to pass a vote on account. That mechanism should be also made available to county governments going into the future.
Muturi saying proposals to amend the Public Finance Management Act to provide counties with at least 50% of shareable revenue would caution counties from financial crunch. Kevin Wachira, Channel News.